These are the only mods you need to get 500 rear wheel horsepower on your Gen 3 Coyote motor. Hey guys, welcome to Red 5. Thank you for tuning into another video. So today we're going to be talking about how to make 500 rear wheel horsepower on your S550 Mustangs, more specifically the Gen 3 Coyote motor. The Gen 3 Coyote motor comes with 460 horsepower stock, and that is at the crank, and I've made a video how you can get it to 500 crank horsepower, which pretty much takes no effort and is a pretty respectable number that you can easily daily and not have to worry about anything breaking. But for those of us who want some serious power, let's talk about how you can hit 500 rear wheel horsepower on your Gen 3 Coyote motors with just bolt-ons. Now for those of you who probably just got a Mustang or trying to figure out which build to go with, I would probably suggest taking a step back and really figure out, do you want to boost your Mustang? Because that is going to be the ultimate bang for your buck in terms of the power and the amount of money spent. The NA route, which we are discussing in this video, is going to cost you a good bit of money. So we'll talk about each mod and how much it costs and how much power you can expect to get, so you can kind of compare for yourself. This really helps so you're not getting some of these NA parts and wasting your money when you could have just started with boost. Now with that out of the way, let's dive right into the video. So we're going to start off with the crank horsepower and what it makes to the wheels. So a Gen 3 Coyote makes 460 to the crank, which means at the wheels it's probably making close to 400 rear wheel horsepower, which accounts for about 15% drivetrain loss. So let that be our baseline, and we're gonna build on top of it. Now first thing you want to do is you want to tune your Mustang, and obviously if you're going to do all these mods that are going to be on the list, you want to get all the mods and then tune it. But for sake of simplicity, we're going to start with a 93 tune, which should get you about 20 rear wheel horsepower. So you're right around 420 rear wheel horsepower with just a tune only car. Now if you have E85 available, and that's going to be a key component to this video, if you have E85 available and you get E85 tune, you'll get another 20 wheel horsepower on top of that. So you're just with a tune only car, you're right at 440 rear wheel horsepower. You haven't touched any of the stock parts. It's still pretty much a tune only car. All the parts are stock, which is pretty impressive to me. And that's pretty much where I'm sitting with my current 2019 Mustang GT as I kind of figure out which direction I want to go in. Now next up, that's going to result in good bit of horsepower is going to be long tube headers. You can get them either free flowing exhaust or high flow cats, and both of them are going to result in significant power bump. We've seen dyno evidence for long tube headers on E85 tune for about 30 to 40 rear wheel horsepower. So if we're trying to be a little bit conservative, let's just go with 35 rear wheel horsepower, because E85 really helps the gains on the long tube headers. So if you've got E85, definitely go for long tube headers. You're going to pick up another 35 horsepower. And with that, you're right around 475 rear wheel horsepower, which is insane. It's pretty much 550 crank horsepower, more than the GT350, more than the Dark Horse. You can easily take those cars out if you run into them in Mexico. But of course, we don't want to stop there. So the next few mods on this list are not really gonna result in a significant gains, but once you add them all together, it will get you to the 500 rear wheel horsepower that you're probably chasing. Now the colder intakes on 2018 and up Mustang typically don't add power, because the most dyno videos you've probably seen include the tune, and tune is basically what's making all those power gains. But if you get a PMAS fender well intake, you're gonna pick up at least 10 to 15 horsepower on that, because not drawing the hot air from the engine bay, actually pulling the air from the fender well and shoving it back into the engine, resulting in more power. So this allows you to be able to have another 15 horsepower or so. So we're at 475 horsepower, you add 15 from here, you're right around 490 horsepower. Even if you want to be conservative, take 10 horsepower, you're at 485 horsepower. And you're pretty much there, but there's still a couple mods you can do to get you very, very close to 500 rear wheel horsepower on your S550 Mustang. So the next step is going to be getting a catback exhaust or resonator delete. Now typically these things don't really add power or nothing worth that you can feel it, but if you're just chasing the number, then just getting a catback exhaust or resonator delete will probably result in like 5 rear wheel horsepower. Nothing you can really feel on its own. But when you combine everything in, you can definitely see the number move in the direction you want it to be. So we're at like 485, and once you add the resonator delete or catback exhaust, you're gonna be right around 490 rear wheel horsepower. Now there's a couple of different routes you can take from there, because you're pretty much there. You can get a ported intake manifold to get you there, or you can even get a cam setup. both of those cost a lot of money and they're probably not worth the cost unless you're going for max NA setup. And obviously all dynos read differently, so I started with the baseline of being only 400 rear wheel horsepower, and I was very conservative in my estimates, but you're pretty much at 500 rear wheel horsepower with these mods, without the ported intake manifold, without the cams. And given all dynos read differently, you might be able to get it right around 500 mark, depending on how happy the dyno is feeling. Now let's talk about the cost. I mean, all those mods are basic bolt-on. I'm gonna exclude cams and ported manifolds because they cost a lot of money. And I think unless you are solely going for max NA effort, they're not worth the money, and you're probably better off going boost. But let's compare it to boost route. So we start out with the 93 and E85 tune. I'm gonna assume that you already have the device, so getting the tunes are around $550 or so for the 93 and E85 combined, depending on which tuner you go with. It could be 600 or 500. Let's go with 600 to be on the safe side. So $600 just for the tunes, and then you've got long tube headers that are going to cost you at least $1,500. Again, there's options like Cook's headers that cost $3,000, and there's options that are eBay headers. You can get them less than $1,000. But let's take the middle, and we're gonna go with the long tube headers around $1,500. So far you spend $2,100 there. PMAS intake is going to be another $400. And if you decide to skip the catback, they cost a lot of money and don't get much power. Let's just go with the resonator delete for about $150 to $200. That's pretty much all you need. So tune for $600, PMAS intake for $400, $200 for the resonator delete. That's about $1,200, about $1,500 for the long tube headers. So you're right around $2,700 or so. Now, of course, the biggest issue with this is the installation of the headers. If you're gonna pay someone to install the header, that's where it gets very costly, because headers installation on the S550 Mustang is just extremely painful, and you're gonna end up paying close to $1,000 to install that. So you're right around $4,000 with all said and done, which is honestly 2/3 of the way what boost would be like if you go with ESS G3 kit or even a G2 kit, and you're making 600 wheel horsepower versus barely 500 wheel horsepower. So that's where it makes sense to kind of take a step back, figure out which route you want to go in. Now, the NA setup is definitely good. 500 horsepower to the wheels is going to be plenty fast for the street, but if your goal is to race the car, take it to Mexico, then you're probably better off starting with boost. And of course, if you can do the work on your own, you don't have to pay for the header installation, then $2,700 or so spent on the parts themselves will result in close to 500 rear wheel horsepower, which is pretty impressive for a street driven car, and you're still under $3,000. But again, that's how you get to 500 rear wheel horsepower on a 2018 and out Mustang. And I know 500 in this day and it doesn't sound like a lot, but 500 used to be what GT500s made. And the cars with 10-speed transmission especially, they're plenty fast. They can shift really fast. So 500 on a street driven car translates to about, close to 570-ish to the crank horsepower, and that is very impressive for just $3,000 in mods. You get 575, 570 horsepower at the crank. And honestly, with these 10-speed, these cars move. So if you have a 10-speed Mustang instead of the 6-speed manual, this is going to be an insanely fast car to drive. With that setup, like $3,000, 10-speed transmission, you're going to be embarrassing a lot of the Hellcats and cars above its tier, just because of how good this 10-speed transmission is. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment below which route are you going with your S550 Mustang GT, and of course, subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.